Happy Monday, everyone. So it's Monday, the beginning of the new week. So let's start the new week seriously. So we have a very serious topic today, a very important topic. Um, I don't know how to name it. I'm really bad with naming these audios. But this audio is going to be profound for everybody that is trying to change their mindset. So, here's the thing, guys, and this is again, everything I'm gonna tell you is based on neuroscience. Every single thing I'm gonna tell you is not me making things up. I have spent, decades researching how the brain works. I still do it because we can always learn new things. That's the point. Nobody can tell you that they know everything. If somebody says that, if somebody says, I know exactly how everything works, I know all the rules, well, yeah. Anyways, we're going to be talking about everything that is scientifically proven. We're going to be talking about why certain things do not work that you see online, and yeah, I think it's going to be very useful for everybody. I'm going to be sharing some things that I do in coaching as well as always. So, specifically, some things that I do with clients if they get the therapy type of coaching. With this type of coaching, you have to do it regularly. So, it's a process, it's like once a week. And again, I'm fully aware that not everybody can afford it. I'm also fully aware that I don't have a lot of time to have a lot of clients doing it. So we're going to be revealing some of these things so you can do it on your own, obviously. And yeah, so let's just start with everything. So let's talk about your brain. So you think that your brain is basically seeing reality, like objectively seeing reality. You have that, you have that feeling, right? What is happening is objectively happening. What I'm thinking about the situation that is happening is what truly is going on, right? But actually, your brain doesn't receive reality, perceive reality in that way. It generates reality. It generates a reality through a prediction engine, engine, through a prediction engine. And this engine was actually calibrated mostly before you were 10 years old and has been running on autopilot ever since. And this is something I tell you all the time. And basically, before you were 10, your brain was not fully developed. You didn't have you didn't have a possibility of critical thinking, of choosing your thoughts. None of that was happening. So what happened, right? And you don't even know how it was programmed, right? Now, the problem here is that when you're doing those techniques that manifestation coaches will advise to you, right? And not just manifestation coaches, but like people online talking about manifestation, love attraction, everything. There are a few things you really need to know, and you gotta trust me with this because I'm telling you the truth, as always. So, number one, everybody has free will. Everybody perceives reality in their own way. The way your brain works, everybody else's brain works as well. You're not in some kind of reality where you are the only person that is a creator and everybody else is, just puppets. You can't create anything you want. None of that is true. It sounds too good to be true because it is. It doesn't work like that. Forget it, forget it. Let it go. It's also like making you very trying to forcefully control things in your life, which again doesn't work. Force never works. You can't control things. Let it go. Okay. Secondly, they tend to tell you that all you need to do is think positively, visualize, and affirm things, and that will happen, right? And there is this idea that your brain does not know the difference between visualization and reality. So it's actually going to think that what you are visualizing is reality. So that is not true. Your brain very well knows the difference between reality and fiction, and it will know that what you're visualizing is fiction. It will see it as, daydreaming and fantasizing, and will not think, oh, this is real, now this is gonna happen, and somehow it's gonna create that to happen. That's not gonna work, okay? It's not gonna work. So save yourself some time. And also, all of those techniques are making you try to control and force things as well, if you think about it, just by doing them, right? So every day you would be doing it, while that doesn't work. That doesn't work, okay? And then, where was I? Affirming, yes, affirming. Affirmations can be a good thing, like I always say. They can help with your mindset, with your confidence, all of that. However, when they tell you to affirm for the things you want, like my ex is back, my ex loves me and Ted are married, that doesn't do anything. How would that even work? Think about it. It can't force Ted to marry you. It can't, control Ted to marry you just by saying something. It's not gonna happen. The only thing that's gonna happen is that you're gonna become more obsessed and basically more in the victim mentality vibration that we don't want you to be in. So forget about those silly techniques. Do not believe that nobody has free will. Please let go of those ideas. Please, guys, please. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, I promise. So let's talk about what does work. Okay. So obviously, you can't always think positive thoughts. And always thinking positive thoughts does not mean that only positive things are going to be happening to you. Obviously, you need to go through bad things and you need to have experiences the way you need to have them. Now, what works? Meditations work. Meditations are really good for changing your mindset and putting you in higher vibration. Now, there is this specific thing that works, which you can get in coaching, obviously, when we would go through everything and change everything for you. But you can also do it yourself, like I always say. So, here's the thing, guys. It's basically about not changing your memories, but changing the emotion you are connecting with a memory. So, whatever it is, whatever type of trauma it is, the thing is that obviously those traumas are keeping us in victim mentality, because our brain basically predicts things based on those traumas, and it selects thoughts based on that. So if we have a scarcity mindset in a situation that may not be scary at all, your brain will make the situation scary for you. So you will have anxiety for basically no reason. And so many people live in anxiety and fear over basic things that, are just normal stuff in life, and nothing bad really happens most of the time, but they're always in that alert mode. That's because their brain is wired like that, and that's the problem. So what do we do with those memories, right? Here's the thing. Everything bad that happened to you has, like I explained already yesterday actually, has actually made you the person you are today. So you have learned from every mistake. You have learned from every bad experience. And if you haven't had those, you would not be the person you are today. You would not be as smart. You would not be as wise. You would not maybe be as athletic. Whatever it is, you would not be there if you haven't experienced that. So that traumatic event, should I say, was crucial for you. It was crucial for you. And when you think about it, if you're going to be thinking about it from the perspective of a victim, you're going to stay in the same mindset, and you want to change that mindset, right? So when you have a certain memory of something bad or traumatic, you have a certain emotion that is connected with that memory. So, for example, shame. If somebody was making fun of you or laughing at you, you would connect shame with that memory, right? And when you would think about it, you would feel that shame and you would relive that shame. But that memory, that event, should I say, that event has made you the person you are today. So maybe if kids did not make fun of you when you were a child, you would not be so filled with empathy today, and you would not be such a kind person you are today to others. And therefore, this experience was necessary to form you into a beautiful, kind being you are today, a soft hearted being you are today. If you're kind to animals, to other people, that all comes from that pain that you have experienced. So when you think of that memory, see it as something that made you grow, that kind of made that light inside of you brighter, that made you expand, and then connect that memory with a different type of emotion, with an emotion of, being wise, or emotion of enlightenment, expansion, something that is not negative. Because even though we all had, ugly things happen to us in life, those things have created us and they were necessary. And you need to view them from the person you are today, from the things that you got to learn from them, and not from the victim mentality type of mindset. I hope this is making sense. So, that is very, very important in the process of changing your mindset. That is the most important thing. And that's what I always tell you, working on yourself, basically, working on your shadows, working on your traumas. That's what it is. That's what it's about. And that's how it works. That's how your mindset changes, and that's how it's done. So basically, when your mindset changes, when you understand that you're not a victim of circumstances, but things happen to everybody. And this is the thing. This is what I always tell you. Two people can have completely the same experience, and they will see it differently based on their, what's inside their head, based on those past traumas or those past experiences, and what has been created in their mindset. So, for example, if you have two girls and they're both overweight and they both are having the same experience. For example, they need to go swimming with everybody else, and they have to get into their bathing suit. And the first girl is, feeling ashamed of her body, because, she sees the trauma from her childhood. She's still a victim of those traumas. Children laughing at her, making fun of her, and she's ashamed to get into her bathing suit because she thinks, she assumes, right, because her brain is predicting things. Our brains love to do that, as I always say, and generating things. So she's thinking everybody's gonna laugh at me, everybody's gonna say nasty things about me, I just don't feel comfortable, I'm ugly, I'm fat, whatever. And then the other one looks exactly the same as the first one, but she just doesn't have the type of mindset. And it's the exactly same situation. And they look exactly the same. They both have extra pounds, but one of them just doesn't care about it, doesn't think that this is something that would like create any problem with her day-to-day life. She's going swimming like everybody else. She wants to experience swimming, she wants to have a nice swim, while the other one is concerned about how her body is going to be perceived. So basically, that's what I'm telling you. Two people can have exactly the same experience, but they will see it completely differently. That's the thing. And that's why reality is not objective. It's very much subjective. We take everything personal. That's the thing. And when you're doing these things, changing your mindset, working on yourself, on your vibration, whatever you want to call it, it's very important to always see the big picture, because we tend to see things from our ego. And this is why we feel like victims so much. If we get rejected, we see it as, oh, it's because of me, because I'm the one getting rejected. It must be something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. But in the reality, usually rejection will be about the other person. So maybe they have different preferences, and that doesn't mean that you're not pretty. It's just that they have different preferences. It doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't make you less valuable, less worthy, less important. Or maybe, they are already seeing somebody, so obviously they're already loyal to somebody else. Or perhaps, they are not feeling well at this point, they are not interested in anything like that. It can be a number of things, but we tend to always see it as something's wrong with us. Not everybody. Some people handle rejection really well because they have done a lot of work on themselves. But majority of the people will take everything personally, will get offended about everything that's actually not about them at all. So, seeing the big picture, always, guys, try it. Try it out. It will show you things that you were missing, and it will show you that reality is not what you think it is. It's just your perception, and it's based on those past memories. It's generated when you were a kid, and now it's just like your brain is just acting upon it. And that is how limiting beliefs are created. Every time your brain predicts something and that actually kind of goes that way, it's always kind of like a confirmation, yes, this is true, yes, it's true. And it's only like creating even a stronger, it's creating a stronger limiting belief, basically. The limiting belief gets stronger and stronger in that way. So that's important to understand. I wanted to say something else. I just forgot. What did I want to say? So our brain, it loves to predict things, and it predicts them based on our trauma. So I remembered. This is something I have talked about before as well, but I want to remind you guys of this. So whenever you have a thought like, oh, it's impossible to find love at 50, let's say. And obviously, your brain kind of notices the things it believes. So, for example, if you believe that, I don't know, it's difficult to find love at 50, let's just go with that. You will always focus on the experiences that are telling you it's difficult. You will kind of not focus on anything else, because this is what your brain will be wired to pick up. But in reality, there are all kinds of experiences. Some people don't find love ever. Some people find love at 50. A lot of people do. And the thing is that you need to prove your brain that it's wrong. You need to give them logical proof. Okay, but look at this. This person found love at 50, so obviously it's possible. And why wouldn't I? Why would age matter? It's some kind of belief that you picked up somewhere when you were a kid, that, love needs to happen at a certain age. And that's absolutely not true. But your brain is wired to think that, and it's torturing you with those thoughts. And you're then like just noticing the bad examples. You're focusing on the negative. So it's very important to focus the other way, to rewire your brain, guys, just to teach it. Okay, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. So I hope this was useful. As always, I had a much better plan how to deliver this, and then I always kind of go all over the place, but I think that you kind of understand what I'm trying to say.